We always seem to get together when Conor McGregor is about to enter the octagon. This one's special significance because he's going for UFC belt number 2. Wouldn't this be something?
This would actually be an incredible achievement if he can pull it off. And it just seems the Conor train, the Conor McGregor show, whatever you want to call it, when Conor McGregor's fighting, the whole world seems to tune in to watch anyway. So Conor McGregor is the big money man in the UFC at the moment. So it's only fitting that we have to have another conversation about it.
We've seen some epic press conferences with Conor McGregor, of course. The big one, what was it, UFC 186, when he had all the big stars there, called it Red Panty Night. Then, of course, the water bottle throwing incident with Nate Diaz. And now UFC 205 press conference. I mean, that was epic as well, wasn't it? All the big stars on the same stage promoting this New York event, and it was the Conor McGregor show.
You know, it's unbelievable the way he is able to just pull everyone in to focus solely on him. They've got a whole group of people up there. You had Frankie Edgar up there, a former world champion. I don't think he was asked a question. And if he was asked a question, he gave a 2-second answer, and the guys were back to Conor McGregor. Some guys try to go back and forth with him. Didn't work out very well. So Conor McGregor knows when the bright lights are on, that's when he shows up and that's when he delivers.
I mean, what do you do in a situation like that if you are, say, a Frankie Edgar? I mean, you've got this mega superstar just dominating the show. We saw Jeremy Stevens try to, stick up for the group, stick up for himself, and Conor basically just shut him down saying, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, that Jeremy Stevens incident I've seen replayed on social media so many times now. That was one of those clips that just took Conor McGregor to a new level of stardom. Everyone loved it. It's really a difficult situation because McGregor is so sharp. He's so quick-witted. Anything you say, he's got an immediate comeback off the cuff. The fans are going crazy for him. They're chanting for him. So anything he says is automatically getting a reaction. So it's really tough if you're a guy like Frankie Edgar who's maybe not as outspoken, or anyone else on the card for that matter. They really just can't get a word in. And even when they do, the fans just don't seem that interested.
I mean, we saw the Nate Diaz strategy in those situations. He basically, had the one-liners but didn't say much. What do you make so far of Eddie Alvarez and how he's handling it? He says, hey, it doesn't faze me. I'm just going to hit him hard.
Yeah, Eddie Alvarez is an interesting character, and I think he's handled it quite well. If you looked at that press conference, he did go back and forth with McGregor a few times. There was some interesting back and forth. It doesn't seem McGregor's got in his head at the moment, but as we saw with guys like Jose Aldo and Chad Mendes, McGregor has a way of getting in your head and making you fight the style he wants you to fight. And that'll be interesting to see, because if Eddie Alvarez comes in the cage just trying to knock off McGregor's head, I think it's going to be a short night for him, and I think McGregor will knock him out quite quickly.
Yeah, we've seen Coach Kavanaugh, John Kavanaugh, and some others in the inner circle of Conor McGregor suggest that 155 is really where he's meant to be for his body frame. This is going to be a very interesting fight because, as of right now, I believe Eddie is suggesting that he's going to stay and stand toe-to-toe with Conor. I don't know if that's the best strategy. I mean, Eddie's a world-class wrestler.
Yeah, I also think that would be a mistake. I think Eddie's best chance is to wrestle McGregor in the opening rounds. We saw in the Nate Diaz fight, or both Nate Diaz fights, Conor McGregor gassed late in that second round. We haven't really seen him too much in his other fights. He's knocked guys out quickly. So if Eddie Alvarez can grind him out those first few rounds, and if you're on the bottom and someone is just grinding it on top of you, it's absolutely exhausting. So if Eddie Alvarez can do that, test the gas tank of McGregor, I think he could get a finish in the 4th or 5th round. But if he goes out there trying to stand with him, I think McGregor's left hand will eventually find home and eventually put him out.
Do you think Conor's bringing anything new to the table for this fight? We've seen him spend $300,000 on a training camp before. I really think that the bell's going to go and he's just going to walk forward.
I also think McGregor's going to just move forward and he's going to look for that killer punch. He's got so much power in that left hand. If he connects with Eddie Alvarez is going to go down. I saw a training video with Conor the other day that was showing him working on some of his wrestling. So maybe that's an area he's focusing on, his wrestling defense. He obviously just wants to get back to the feet, and that's where he wants the fight to stay. That's where he has a big advantage.
I always ask you this, and I know you like to wait until the weigh-ins. They do the weigh-ins differently now. You get to do it at 10 o'clock in the morning. But wondering, do you have your mind set on this one? If you were to bet it, who would you take?
I like Conor McGregor to win this fight at the moment. The line, I don't really like it at minus 160 or whatever it is in that range. The problem with these Conor fights is that this is a close fight, but because there's so much public support behind Conor, so many people betting Conor, his lines tend to get inflated to the point where you can't really bet on Conor McGregor to win, even if you do think he will.